Hi dear learners, hopefully you'll be fine. Today I'm going to discuss about types of sentences according to structure. So very first question rises first, what's a sentence? Till the end of the lecture, you will get the answers of all questions that would be have in your mind. But first of all, find out what's a sentence. Sentence, we know very well, it's a meaningful unit in a language. It gives full meaning because the language conveys full meaning in the form of sentences. Now, when we talk about the types of sentences based on the first is function and second is structure, the topic, it will hit two aspects, like two aspects will be clarified, the types of sentences based on function and structure. This must be kept in mind. So, sentences can be categorized in two ways. As the topic suggests, one way is to judge it with the help of function and second is to judge it with the help of structure. Let's have an overview. First of all, what's the type of sentence according to function? Very first type is assertive or declarative sentence. This sentence, it gives some statement or it gives some fact. Examples, they can clarify. For example, Sarah is in the class. Pakistan came into being on 14th August 1947 and London is a very beautiful and prosperous city of England. Final example is I like tea. So 4 examples have been given to confirm your concepts, and in your mind you must have at least 2 examples. When you generate 2 examples about each topic, so it means you know something about that topic. The next type that we are going to discuss is interactive sentence. Very common type. Interactive sentences, they ask some questions in interview, in tests, everywhere questions are asked. We can ask someone, why do you come late? In the same way, where do you study? Like your place, your institution where you study. And what's your favorite food or dish? And secondly, whom do you want to see? So this type was called interactive sentence. That's not so difficult. And finally, interactive sentence, dear learners, they end at the question mark. Third type is imperative sentence. Imperative sentence, we know it gives some command, further it gives request or it expresses a wish. When we move towards example, for example, when we order someone, we can say, Maria, go to your room and sleep. This can be a sort of order. And when we request, we will say, don't tease me, please. That's a request. And finally, when we express some wish, we'll say, I wish you all the best. Or may you succeed in getting your goals. So that would be imperative sentence when we wish or when we express some desire. Final in this category is exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentence, we know it expresses some sudden feelings of mind such as surprise, wonder, there can be pity, there can be sympathy or happiness. Here we know when we express something, and as the name suggests, exclamatory sentence, it ends at an exclamation mark. Here, one thing more you can clarify, a sentence, it can end at a full stop. The very basic definition of sentence is a sentence starts with the capital letter and it ends at a full stop. So, sentence, dear learners, it can end at a full stop. In interactive sentence you studied, it ends at a question mark. And now, in exclamatory sentences where we express some feeling, surprise, wonder, pity, sympathy, it ends at an exclamation mark. For example, what a lovely bird is flying. You gave a great idea. How dangerous he is. What an exciting match it was. So that's all about the types of sentence according to function. And the very next category, that is types of sentences based on structure. The very first type that we are going to discuss, it's a simple sentence. So a simple sentence, it consists of one and independent clause. When we discuss independent clause, the very next question arises in the mind. What's an independent clause? An independent clause, it contains a subject and a verb, and further it expresses a complete thought. Simple examples have been given. I love my mother. Mariam dislikes cold drinks. she smiles, the baby weeps. So these are the examples of simple sentences, and further you have studied that they consist of an independent clause. So these are independent clauses as well and simple sentences as well. Hopefully the two or dual concepts would have been clarified in your mind. The very next type that we are going to highlight, it's about a compound sentence. Compound sentence. So first of all, we'll discuss what a compound sentence is. It's the combination of two or more independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction or a semicolon. So each of these clauses can form a sentence alone. So students or learners, you have to clarify in your mind first. In the previous, you studied about simple sentence that consists of one independent clause. So one independent clause you studied about, it consists of a subject and a verb, and it conveys a complete thought. Here in compound sentence, you will discuss compound sentence is combination of two independent clauses. They are joined by coordinating conjunction or a semicolon, and each of these clauses can constitute or make a sentence. Now, a lot of questions would be rising in your mind. Not so much complex, but in-depth grammar now, grammatical rules they involve. For example, when we talk about coordinating conjunction or semicolon, okay, you would be aware of the semicolon, but a lot of listeners or audience, they will be thinking about coordinating conjunction. So we'll discuss first of all, what are coordinating conjunctions? Because concepts, though in some ways they are fixed, but in some ways they are not fixed and they are linked with other concepts. Here you would find a very famous mnemonics, that's fanboys. Fanboys, it stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So these are the 7 coordinating conjunction. I repeat, for and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So that's a mnemonic device, fanboys. With the help of capital letters and bold letters, it has been clarified for you. When these conjunctions, they occur in a clause or they connect to independent clauses. So before these conjunctions or connectors, a comma is used. A comma is used before these fanboys. So further, compound sentence in some other ways, it can be linked through conjunctive adverb, for example, however, therefore, or a semicolon alone. So that was about compound sentence. Little bit complexity involved as we move towards further types. So examples, I eat vegetable and Ali eats meat. Before and we can see it clearly, comma is used. And further, Ahmad went to zoo, but Hassan went to the party. Aslam did not agree with me. Now that's semicolon, with the help of semicolon. However, I did not mind. Our car broke down. Again, semicolon has been used. We came late. I went to Islamabad, but Hamid took rest in his room. He is tired, comma, yet he is ready to perform duty. Further, Maryam is hungry, so she will eat rice. As you sow, so shall you reap. Famous quotation and saying as well, mostly used at the end of the stories as well to give some moral lesson. So in all of these examples, except semicolon, you studied in definition, coordinating conjunctions, they can use semicolon as well, or compound sentences, they can use semicolon, and further they can use fanboys. So before all of these examples, comma is used. Hopefully this will have been clarified, because like multiple examples have been given to clarify these concepts. As this concept was little bit complex, in previous concepts 3 to 4 examples were given for each, and here you can count like at least 8 examples have been given. So in this way you have to find more examples to get depth about that topic. Complex sentence. I won't say all learners aren't aware of this grammatical topic. Many learners, they'll have prior knowledge. But some learners, maybe they will have some basic knowledge and they won't know what a complex sentence is. A complex sentence, it consists of an independent clause and a dependent clause. An independent clause and a dependent clause. New thing now, dependent clause. Previously, you just studied about independent clause. And now, complex sentence is combination of independent clause plus a dependent clause. Now, first of all, a dependent clause starts with the subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun. Here, first of all, you must know what's a subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun. And it contains a subject and a verb, but does not express a complete thought. The difference between independent or dependent is what? It's followed by subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun, and though it contains subject and a verb, but it does not express a complete thought. Some common subordinating conjunctions, they have been given after, although, as, because, before, how, if, once, since, then, that, though, till, until, when, where, whether, while. So these were subordinating conjunctions, and further we'll talk about the 5 basic relative pronouns that involve that, which, who, whom, and whose. Because concepts, they help when you are clarified, and if concepts they aren't clarified, topic is burden. And if concepts are okay, whatever things, whatever items involved, then concepts aren't burden, rather they are helpful and you get clarity. These are the examples. Before you enter mosque, take off your shoes. The patient had died before the doctor came. The train had left when we reached the station. She is the same girl whom I met in the park. Do you know the man who is running in the park? I saw a sparrow which was chirping. Hamid will help Aisha if she needs. Now, in these multiple examples, you have to first judge coordinating conjunctions. Is it clear? What you have to judge? Dear learners, not coordinating, rather subordinating conjunctions. Examples like in words they were given in the previous slides, but here we'll talk about subordinating conjunctions. So you have to ask questions, and I'm clarifying before, again before, when, whom, who, which, and if. These are the examples of that was written in the concept subordinating conjunctions. So the final type is compound complex sentence structure. So compound complex sentence, it consists of at least 2 independent clauses and 1 or more dependent clause. The key words are the concepts that are linked with that concepts are. Compound complex sentence, it consists of at least 2 independent clauses and 1 or more dependent clause. Directly, we move towards examples. Hassan did not come because he was ill. So, Hamid was not happy in Hassan's absence. This was the first examples of compound complex sentence structure. Then, second example, he left in a hurry after he received a message, but he came back after 3 hours. And the final example, I went to Lahore and bought some books because I needed those books for the preparation of tests. So the very definition that clarifies its combination of 2 independent clauses and 1 or more dependent clause. Now the question rises, where are independent clauses in this final type and where is dependent clause? Okay learners, hopefully this short lecture, though it was short, just consisting of few minutes, that would be helpful for you, and I would be waiting for your further feedback and suggestions. And along with that, it's the end of the lecture.